Hi, I'm Heather from booktubes, and today is week 2 of the amazing readathon, the reading vlog. Weird intro. You'll be alright. I'll be alright. We'll be fine. So I left you on Friday, and so this is Sunday afternoon. This is Sunday afternoon, so I have a couple days to catch you up on, and a few books, and a few prompts, and things like that. I had a busy couple days, and I needed a tiny bit of a break. So I did that. Now we're back to filming. So for the Berlin prompt, I had initially picked up a longer book that I do still want to read, but I DNF'd it in the first couple chapters because it's over 500 pages. I think it's Want to Play a Game, something like that. I read this author before, and they do dubious consent and non-consent dark romances in a way that works for me. I'd say it's at the edge of my comfort zone, but it's still within my comfort zone. And you know, the author is like, hey, non-consent is only okay in fiction. However, I knew I was gonna have a really busy weekend, and if I had been flying through it on Friday, that long book would have been completely fine, but I was avoiding reading on Friday, so that long book was no longer going to work. So instead I picked up a short book that I had originally planned on reading before I had realized that the long one fit, and that was Jumping the Shark by Ash Raven. And this is a queer author. It's a shark man alien with 2 dicks, so you know, if that's your thing, there's a little daddy kink in it. Good consent, except for the whole fact she didn't know he was an alien, but you know, she doesn't care. She's on board with everything. It was 3 stars. It was fine. It was mid. It was a steamy alien novella, as one would expect. Nothing really to say there. When the Berlin prompt happened, I want to say I was about 50% through Devon by Drea Anderson. This is Black Shifters. These ones were werewolves, and they are low conflict, low angst. I really like the way that she does alphas. I really like that everyone is so protective and possessive, and the way that they extend their protection and their care to the family of the people that they love and the family that they've chosen for themselves. I really like the support systems, very supportive families. If one person's family is trash, another person's family is taking them under their wing, and I love that. I love these books. I love what she does with them. I don't have to stress about going into it. I know exactly what I'm getting, and I like it. So this is a spin-off of the Night Brothers series, which I read and loved, and as soon as I heard that, snatched it up. I was like, immediately yes. So I read that, 5 stars, phenomenal. One of my favorite authors, honestly. Really like her books. So very happy with that. I read that for sightseeing, and then I did read 1 or 2 more chapters of Saints of Storm and Sorrow by Gabriella Buba. This is a fantasy, and right now we're in like the Catholic Church, and you know, no one can know about their powers or they'll be hunted and killed. And also she has a romance with her roommate, and obviously them being gay is considered a sin. But there's a marriage to convenience in this book, and it's a bi-panic love triangle, and I think I know exactly who it's going to be, even though we haven't seen him on page yet. So we have the 2 girls, we're seeing them, and then they've mentioned this guy. So anyways, I'm starting to get into it a little bit, but I'm just gonna keep reading that in between other things, basically. Then today, Sunday, short leg Paris prompt drop, which was to read an award winner. And I have romances on my TBR that are award winners, right? But I am kind of feeling confined. The mood reader is mood reading and doesn't really want to read any of the books in my TBR that fit that. So I actually had from the library Dragon Breath by Ursula Vernon, which this is T. Kingfisher's children's books pen name, and I've been wanting to try it, and so I just went ahead and read it. I'm happy that I did. I read it on my own, so I'll like know what's coming, and I'm going to read it as my kids' bedtime book. So this one was really fun and cute. I love their humor. That's one of my favorite things about their writing, and that was definitely present in this as well. But you have a dragon that's going to school and he daydreams and stuff, so you have like some pages of comics and then most of it a whole chapter of text and things like that. So it's broken up really well for the age group that is written for. And he fails a paper on the ocean because he just made it up, and then he has a cousin that's a sea serpent, so they actually go in the ocean and they end up seeing all of these different creatures and learning different facts about the ocean and stuff. So it was an informative book, but also broken up so well for children. So very happy with that. Obviously didn't get very many points for that, but I really do not like to read a book that's not on my TBR for a readathon. And also, like I said, the ones that were on my TBR, I was like, no. I hate that. Why'd I put that there? I have no interest in that. I don't want to read that. That was the old me. That was a different person. That was not today. No, actually, no. So I just went ahead and did that. So now I need to sightsee and hopefully try and make up for the fact that I did kind of low points for my city prompt. But again, like, me avoiding a reading slump is much more important than me getting a high round of points on one specific city or prompt, right? I would much rather be happily reading than reading to the best of my abilities and reading the most that I possibly can, you know, just for the sake of points, which I encourage literally everyone to do. You know, put your happiness as a reader, the way that you enjoy reading, the pace that you enjoy reading, whether that is, you know, 10 plus books a day or it's 2 books a month. I don't care. You have fun. You enjoy your reading, and don't try and force it to be something it's not for the sake of a readathon. Even a fun readathon, like the amazing readathon. So that's it. That's my update for today, the opening of this vlog. And who even knows when I'm gonna read? Because I don't. Because I don't. Because I don't. Right now, head empty. Nothing. Got nothing to give you. Got no idea what I'm gonna do. I do know I have to film another video here in a second and edit that and get that up in the next couple of days. And then a book I really want to read is coming out on Tuesday. So if I could have my video edited before that I'm ready to go up and not have to do any of that on Tuesday, and I can just read my book instead, that would be cool. So that's the plan. This was too long. Goodbye. Brianna. I'm trying to get on sprints. My dry shampoo hasn't even set yet. What do you mean you've announced Face Off weekend? It's time for an update. So I've been on sprints. I read a little bit of How to Marry a Werewolf by Gail Carriger, and I'm loving it. And it's a very fun time. I love their humor, their wit, their banter that they have in their books, the insights that they have into human nature, and just their descriptions. Really like their writing so much. I need to finish the admin for my video tomorrow, and then I will probably read some more. It's gonna be a pretty chill day. Kids aren't feeling great. I am on the verge of headaches, which is why I keep wearing my Bluetooth glasses, because it does help with my eye strain. I definitely meant blue light. But yeah, so it's gonna be a chill day. Not gonna do a lot, not gonna try to do a lot. We will be reading weird, historical, steampunk, paranormal romance. Doesn't get any better than that. Tuesday came and went, and this is all that I filmed. Putting away a couple clean dishes and the before and after of cleaning the kitchen. I was busy with U-turn. I had also spent a lot of Tuesday reading my most anticipated book, and that continued on Wednesday. I do have a whole chatty section about that coming up, so I won't do too much in the voiceover. You may or may not be able to hear my kid talking right now as I do the voiceover, but hey, she lives here. She's allowed to talk in her own house. She's not even in the same room as me, so I'm not going to tell her to be quiet when she's just playing. So we spent quite a bit of time outside, did popsicles, did sandwiches for lunch as one does when it's hot, and then we did Taco Tuesday, but make it Burrito Wednesday.
I then changed all the bedding, and you can enjoy that in a snap, snap, snap editing style. And I also updated my planner with Tuesday's video. I also feel like I hopped on sprints somewhere in these days, but I could be wrong. It's all blending together in a blur. I don't know what I did, when I did it, or who I did it with.
It's Wednesday evening and I have updates for you. So Monday night, I did end up finishing How to Marry a Werewolf, which is Claws and Courtship, I think, #1 by Gail Carriger. So did really enjoy this. It is like London Victorian society, but with paranormal. So a disgraced American comes to town and she has a romance with the very grumpy werewolf that has been alone for far too long, and their banter is great. She's very feisty and he loves that about her. I gave this 4 stars. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I liked the relationship. I did not love the reveal of the content warnings, so they kind of came out of nowhere, bit of a twist. Didn't really love that, but she was seduced by a werewolf by one of their people to disgrace her family, and then she ended up being pregnant from that and had a late, very traumatic miscarriage. And then he had a wife and a child, and his wife was not in a good mental place. And when he was forcibly kept away from them for some time, when he returned, his wife committed suicide with the child. And I don't know, that was a lot just to be thrown in there. Like, they hinted at their tragic past and everything, but I didn't really like it. I didn't really like that part. So 4 stars, overall very enjoyable. Probably wouldn't necessarily recommend without being very clear about the content warnings. So obviously all of that is historical, but is mentioned in conversation. And her family is awful, but we don't have very much time with them on page at all. So then yesterday was the release day of The Woman by the Lake, which is Misted Pines #3 by Kristen Ashley. This is a romance thriller, and this is my favorite author. She's not for everyone, but she is for me. And I've been reading that ever since. I read that all day yesterday, and I've read some of it today. I am currently at 76% and will definitely finish it tonight. And today we got the drop for Cape Town. We got the prompt for that, and that's nature on the cover, and The Woman by the Lake will fit in. So when I finish it, I can submit it for a city prompt, which is great because this is one of my most anticipated releases. Like, I was reading it yesterday and today, obviously, but I was reading it on release day until I finish it, no matter what the readathon was telling me to do. So the fact that it fits is great. Fantastic. Thank you, Brie. So I'm excited about that, obviously. I'm going to change into pajamas and finish my book. And that is what the rest of today looks like. And I'm so happy about that. So The Woman by the Lake is a romantic thriller, which I already mentioned. There's a lot of romance in it. Like, if you're not a romance reader, you won't enjoy it. But we have a very rich woman who has come to a secluded town to get downtime in a cabin because her mother was beaten to death by her father in the last few months after she had been told that her father died as a child. She didn't grow up with her father at all, but because of money, he went after her mother. She has a romance with her neighbor, as one does, who happens to be a single dad, and I really love the kid in this one. And yeah, so far it's looking like a 5-star. This is everything that I love about Kristen Ashley. This is what I liked about the first book. The second book was kind of a disappointment for me. So I'm very, very excited that this is living up to the expectations. So that's it. My favorite book. I guess we'll see if I talk to you tomorrow based on how this vlog is going.
Moving on with our lives to Thursday, I did not chat with you this day. I did get on sprints late night and thought about updating you because I was actually reading on that sprint, but I did not. So please enjoy me doing all the produce for the week and making a couple of salads for dinner. Once again, taking this time to remind you that we cannot all read all day, every day, and real life intruding on your readathon plans is okay and something that happens to all of the teams. Somebody can't read right now.
All right, it is raining out, so we're at a slightly different angle to try and work with the light in my room. So it is Friday before face off. It is like an hour and 20 minutes till face off, and I have approximately 7 hours worth of stuff to try and get done between now and then. So clearly it's time to delete some things off the to-do list because they will not be happening. However, I did want to close out this vlog. This is one of the things. And I wanted to let you know what I read on sprints last night. So the first thing that I read was Clean Sweep, the graphic novel by Ilona Andrews. This was a gift from Izzy. This is one of our favorite series. Love it so much. And Ilona Andrews is one of our favorite authors. We've done many Ilona Andrews read-alongs on Steph and Novelty Corner's channel. We have done all of Kate Daniels, all of Hidden Legacy, all of the Innkeeper Chronicles. We did the Kinsman universe. We've done The Edge. We've done everything except for that one Alpha Origins book, which didn't result in a series. So if you are an Ilona Andrews fan, when Sanctuary comes out in July, which is Roman's book, we will be doing a live show on Steph's channel, Novelty Corner, the week after the release. So yeah, this is a sci-fi romance series. It is one of their books that has the least amount of romance in it, but still the romance is very present. And obviously the graphic novel highlights a lot of the romance scenes from the actual book, but this is basically the first half or so of the first book in graphic novel form. And I was so happy to get to see one of my favorites in visuals. I don't see a whole lot when I read, so this was very fun for me. I absolutely loved it. Just an amazing time. I do think that would be a good option to try Ilona Andrews with, but if you are already a fan of the series and you like graphic novels, home run. Excellent work. You should read it. Then I read Soulless, the manga. So this is Soulless by Gail Carriger. Again, this is the first book as manga form. So I've read the novel twice and now I've read the manga. This has been on my TBR for over a year and I'm really happy that I finally got to it. There is nudity, although not everything is shown. The most you're getting is cheeks basically, but there is nudity, so be aware of that depending on where you're reading it and who is around. But this is werewolf romance and a very unique take on supernaturals. Our main character is the opposite of supernaturals. She neutralizes them, which I've never read in any other paranormal book. So very unique, great banter, very, very fun. And I really liked seeing that also in graphic novel, but this was manga specifically. And then lastly, on Steph at Novelty Corner's recommendation, I read Garlic and the Vampire. I forget who it's by. I'll just put on the screen because I gotta get this done. I gotta get this done before face off. I don't have time to be professional. Anyways, this was a very quick graphic novel. It's not romance. It's just a little garlic going to protect the garden people against the vampire. It was fun. It was cute. It was not a new favorite for me, but this is not what I typically read anyway, so that's hardly surprising. But I have no issues with it. If it sounds good to you, it was very well done. And the art was really, really cute. So I'm glad that I read that. So those were the things I read last night on Sprints with Izzy. Also, if you watch the sprints and you watch the very end and you know that I was having qualms about resetting my Kindle, I did do that and we have had success, and I've now been able to download all of my novellas for Face Off weekend. So that's it for this vlog. Significantly shorter than the last one, but that's not a bad thing, especially again with the time crunch. And also just a quick update on me and my experience with the readathon as a host and as a participant. I am not nearly as burned out as I thought I would be, particularly with mood reading, and I think that's because I have not tried to fight my mood reading. If I could not do the best of my abilities on a silly prompt, I didn't. I just did the easiest option that I had, and I think that was huge in me being okay and not in a reading slump currently. So great choices were made there. Also, the Discord, I feel like, is not as overwhelming as it was at the beginning. There's a couple of really hectic hours whenever there is a prompt drop or maybe there's an issue that needs resolved. But for the most part, not really finding that overwhelming. Again, I know that I have an end date for this, so I think that that helps too. Yeah, not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. Also, on a completely separate note, I have had Sabrina Carpenter's Please stuck in my head for a week now. Specifically, I'm sure you already know what I'm gonna say, but specifically, heartbreak is one thing, my ego's another. I beg you, don't embarrass me, motherfucker. And the way she like says motherfucker, I love it. It was like stuck in my head so badly. So I've listened to that about a bajillion times this week, if we're gonna be honest with each other. And, you know, if you're here for a hint, I will let you know that for the U-turn, Team Romance had 2 producers vote for us. Out of 5. 2 of them. 2 of them voted for us, which I am very offended by. I just want you to know. But you know what? Team Romance will persevere. I believe in us. I'm really looking forward to Face Off weekend. That will be my next video, will be the vlog for Face Off. And so we are done here. And also be nice to the producers. Don't be mean to them. I'm only kidding. They're actually like so helpful, so much fun. I really enjoy having them rotate through our teams, whether they sabotage or they, all I got is help. It's the only word I've got. It's a fine word. It's a perfectly capable word. It's fine. Or they help us, but I just think that that is a very fun element to the readathon, and I'm very excited to try and outmatch them for Face Off. I think that the way that they're sabotaging for Face Off is going to be so fun. But yeah, I like the producers. I like their part in the game, and don't be mean to them. Even if they are sabotaging your team, don't be mean to them. They're doing the best they can. And they actually don't choose whether they sabotage, and they don't know whether they sabotage. So be nice. All right, that's it. That's all I got for you. I got to go. I now have to edit another 8 minutes of this vlog when I was done. Bye.